Good evening, Hong Kong Free Press. This is Peter Lee reporting at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Today, students and teachers of the university have placed flowers, candles, and a replica of the Tiananmen crackdown statue, the goddess of democracy, where it once stood on Saturday. This day marks the 33 years since the 1989 Tiananmen crackdown. But for this and last year, commemorative masses have been asked, and people have warned Hong Kongers not to gather. As Victoria Park, site of a traditional candlelit vigil, is closed. Last December, the CUHK had removed the Goddess of Democracy statue that once stood at the campus's entrance next to the MTR. It took away the Tiananmen crackdown monument in the early morning of the Christmas Eve, one day after the removal of the Pillar of Shame, another monument for the 1989 crackdown from the University of Hong Kong. And what we can see in the camera, students have put white flowers, candles, and replica of the removed statue at where it stood. And Hong Kong Free Press had spoke with Chinese university student before. He, named Lee, was a final year CUHK student, and he came from mainland China. So he was one of the students who bought a bunch of flowers and put them down and where the statue was. The students shared with Hong Kong Free Press that he was worried about police officers or security guards stopping him from putting down flowers. But he found out that when he came in, there are already flowers, and he's relaxed and realized there are still like-minded people around. Lee told Hong Kong Free Press that he was from Hubei, and although he knew there was a student movement at Tiananmen Square in 1989, he was never told about the entailed June 4th crackdown back in mainland. And he learned that in CUHK through talks, seminars, and conversations with teaching staff. So throughout the day, as we can see, there are security guards constantly monitoring the site of the Goddess of Democracy. And from 4 to 8 p.m., Hong Kong Free Press has saw 3 instances when police had came near the entrance of CUHK and looked at what people were doing at the site. And in a third instance, there were a total of 10 officers came, and they were all wearing bulletproof vests. And when the police first came, Hong Kong Free Press has asked them why they had come and whether they have received a report of crime. However, they said they did not receive any reports, and their presence was only a normal patrol. So apart from police presence, the university's security guards also paid regular visits to the site. As we can see, there's a van and security officers standing right there to see what people was doing with the commemoration of Tiananmen crackdown in CUHK. And apart from students, there were actually other teaching staff members who also paid tributes at the site. It media reported that an associate professor at the CUHK's Department of History, Rowena He, had also visited the venue and placed down white flowers. And from afternoon to dusk, the tributes placed at the entrance of the university had caught the eyes of many, and they would stop and take a photo of the tributes laid down. And among these statues, there was a replica of the Goddess of Democracy, the little white statue that we can see at the bottom. Actually, that statue was bought by a CUHK postgraduate student named Derek. He said the statue was gifted to him when he was in one of the Victoria Park vigils years ago when he was still a junior secondary school student. and the statue was a gift from his teacher. He said he wanted to put the statue back down here. As we can see in the screen now, a security officer is taking picture of what's already laid down. As, so Derek told Hong Kong Free Press that he wanted to put the replica of the statue back in where it stood because he thinks it's the university's fault that they removed the statue. And although the students cannot rectify this and change what the school did, he can put the replica back in there. And he said it will be easier for people to commemorate the Tiananmen crackdown. He also added that his replica and the goddess of democracy itself meant more than a tribute to the Tiananmen incident, as it was also a symbol for the freedom of speech in the university. This is Peter Lee reporting at the Chinese University of Hong Kong. Thank you for watching.